welcome. My name is Gil. I'm here with Gloria, Santilla, candidate for Burlington High School Board of Trustees. Gloria, I know we talked a while back, and one thing I think that really resonated with me when we spoke is, you were previously on the Burlington Elementary School Board, and a lot of the things your concerns and areas to improve that you want to bring to the high school were things I completely agreed with. You were talking about ensuring the proper preparing students properly, or special ed, English language learners, and whatnot. And I completely resonated with that. It really excited me when I heard you share your vision, share what you want to bring on the high school board. And so I'm really glad to speak with you today. And if you want to share, obviously, if you want to share about yourself and then also go into some of those things you hope to bring on the high school board, please do so.
Okay. As you know, I'm a resident of Raleigh. I was actually born and raised in the house that I live in now. My grandmother delivered me, the youngest of 10 children. Again, went through the Raleigh schools. Mm, Being the youngest of 10, I guess it was a little bit easier for me when learning the English because my parents did not speak English. And having the older brothers kind of, when my older sisters helped me when I was in kindergarten while she was cleaning houses for some of the teachers at school. So again, coming from a very humble beginning, my dad was an irrigator and he always encouraged us to do well in school. My mom was a little bit more, she was the lady of the household. She was raising her children. We took care of her. When we started taking care of her when she was 92, she lived to be 100 years old. So, we're very, very fortunate to have had her that long. My dad passed away when I was 26. So that was a void there in my life. But again, the encouragement that he gave us to go to school applied to all my brothers and sisters. When I talk about, trying to have the same upbringing for the children nowadays and having the same opportunities, again, it comes a lot from the parents of them encouraging you and not telling you can't. You never give up on your children. I never give up on mine. They're doing fairly well. They're not engineers or doctors or anything, but I have a registered nurse, her daughter. She went through a struggle as she was growing up. She was a teen pregnancy. So I let her go to the regular teen mothers. And then during that time, they had senior projects. I don't know if they have them still, but I encouraged her to go back to the school, back to regular high school. And there were some girls that were also in teen mothers and they followed her. And they said, well, if she can do it, we can do it. Well, my daughter now is a registered nurse. Again, she went through struggles. I have two children. One has a master's and works for the gas company. So again, waiting for that opportunity to turn up. I have another one that works for the post office and a high school teacher that teaches at Desert Mirage. She chose that because, again, with the upbringing that we gave her, it was to give back to the community. And Desert Mirage is in the Mecca area, one of the poorest cities in California. So again, passing that on of giving back to the community is very important.
Yeah, you got to give yourself more credit. Like my kids are doing all right. They're registered nurse. They got good jobs. You got to give. No, you've done great. But you're right. The parents that support, no matter. I mean, I became a father at 21, and so I wasn't ready. I wasn't a mature 21-year-old, and so But knowing my parents, despite the struggles, knowing my parents were there. It wasn't always pretty. Sometimes the language they used was tough to hear, or it was very good to hear. So depending on the context and situation, but that support of them, helping me, and now I have my master's, but it took a while, but it all comes, like you said, right there to the support of the parents.
Yes, and again, when the child or student spends 6 hours a day in school, you're also looking at the teachers having a great influence. I was one of the children, again, lived down in the country, was bused to Whitter School. And at that time, we weren't very welcome. They were building Phil Swing School, and they want it. My understanding now, because it's, 30 years later, 40 years later, is that they moved us to Phil Swing School before it wasn't even built yet. So they sent us to Ruth Reed School temporarily. So I spent the 4 years there temporarily. And then, I had some of the best teachers there. I had Mrs. Fonseca. She was, again, Mexicana like myself, and she knew my parents. She actually had us in her wedding. There was about 15 related young ladies, third grade, fourth grade at that, I believe, or fifth grade when she got married. And she invited all the 16 or young girls to participate in her wedding because she was a teacher and she felt it was so important to give them that worth. Then I had my fourth grade teacher. I don't remember. My fifth grade teacher, I think everybody knows, is Mrs. Wong. And she had just come in from China, and she just was amazing and giving me more self-confidence. Again, the teachers are the foundation of what you learn and how you feel about yourself.
Right. And it's funny, we all look back and those teachers that, I got Mrs. Smith, fourth grade, Mrs. Archuleta in second, with me, Mrs. Casey in sixth grade, who I look back and, man, like, yeah, then I learned a lot, that's where I just kind of blossomed. And
Right.
you're right.
I
That's
don't
why I said,
remember.
like we talked, like we talked last time, and it was like you were saying so much that I agreed with. That I was just like, yeah, I see things the same way, or that's why, yeah, I wanted you to have you on here. So, I'm sorry, continue.
Okay. Now, one of the reasons I am running is, again, as a parent, I did start attending the school side council meetings. And it was very obvious that a lot of the children, including my children, weren't treated the same as other children. If they got in trouble, it was like, you come over here. If they were doing good, sometimes they didn't recognize that they were doing well. I had one of my daughters was engaged, and her teacher was one of the renowned teachers. And I went for open house, and she told me, uh, I asked her how's my daughter doing, and she said, well, she's doing okay. She's getting the C. Again, it's a GATE honors, and I'm looking at it's a hard class. So when I got the report card, it was, I think she got like a D. And to me, it was like, well, she told me she was doing good. So why did it change? And then I asked my daughter, and she says, you got the grade that you got, and I don't want your mother coming over here and saying anything. Okay, and that to me started the speaking up for my children, speaking up and seeing, what do other children go through, other students go through, where their parents don't know, and it's not because they don't want to know, but because maybe they're busy working, maybe there's a language barrier. Again, having the confidence, I learned how to fight, with my children, fight for them. And again, I think I still carry that fighting for, other children. I had two students that got two of my children's friends got kicked out of their household. So they came to my house. They came to Jerry and my house because they felt comfortable. When it was time for them to go back, they went back. But it wasn't, again, they needed that support from somebody outside. And sometimes that person is not there. And there are resources that we can refer them to that we don't use enough. I know that we have the Family Resource Center at the high school where we refer from not Whitter School, from Raleigh Elementary School. I would ask for reports, but I didn't really feel the what they really did. How did they help our children? Did they really, set that time aside to speak to them? Do they have enough you
Yeah, it
know,
wasn't just checking a box. It was,
yeah, it was just check the box.
yeah,
Yeah, it was just
yeah,
numbers. Here, we saw, 50 of your kids, and that was it. Now, and I'm good with that, but I want to know, did they have to go back? Did we follow up on them? One of the things that I'm looking at, also is, and we talked about this, the level of education our kids are getting. Now, from my understanding, the high school is doing a good job. And when I was in the high school board, about 12 years ago, I asked some of the questions of, why are the students not doing that well here in high school? And they told me, well, they're English learners. And they was like, no, I want to know, what else is there? So they tested them. There was about maybe 25% that tested first, second, third grade reading level. So it was like they're not English learners. They're not learning. They're illiterate, just to put it bluntly. So what are we doing at the elementary school level? So then that's when I went to the elementary school level, trying to find, what is it? What else can we do? So kind of feel like, okay, now it's time to go back to the high school level and work with the elementary level, because now I know the board of trustees that are on there. And I think that we can really find a solution and work together to bring those students, that 25% that I know, because I'm hearing it's still happening.
no, yeah. And you said literacy is key. I mean, that reading is
Mhm.
everything, right? And no, yeah, and I tell people who are running for school boards, it's a steep learning curve. I mean, I really, it's been, whew, it's, and for you understanding that, not just um, understanding from an elementary school level will help you,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, right? And having this communication, there needs to be more. I've told this to other candidates. There needs to be more communication between the
Mhm.
boards. I mean, we have to. I mean, to prepare our students. I mean, we can't work in silos. You
Mhm.
know.
But when I was on the high school board, we had joint meetings with Brawley Elementary and Brawley High. We also, and because I kind of pushed it somewhat, we also had meetings with Westmoreland, because that is one of the biggest feeder schools. So again, we have to just work together. And one person saying it's your fault, that's not what it's about. It's about, how do we help our students.
Yeah, who
And
cares whose fault it is? What can we? Let's fix it then, right? Like,
yes, right, right. And again, that's my profession. I have a pencil. We used to use pencils and erasers. So it's like, you make a mistake, erase it and fix it.
yeah,
you
learn
know
from it.
and it's real simple. But again, it's not pointing, it's not saying someone's doing something wrong, but it's like, there's gaps. So how do we identify those gaps and make it better, make it better for our students? So again, that's, well, one of my goals. The other goal right now, during the the pandemic, is the distance learning. And I feel real strongly that our students probably can learn faster because they're younger on using technology. Our teachers might have a little bit of uh, more time needed to uh, to be able to use it effectively. And it's okay. I think it's okay. Let's give them that time. Let's let them look at themselves as they're presenting. The material they probably have, it may be a little bit different, but let's give them time and training, and training to be able to be effective. Mm, I've struggled with the Zoom meetings, and they're teaching via Zoom, and again,
Not
my,
only teaching, they're also having to be, computer tech, right? When the parents say, "Hey, a kid," oh, I mean, a different form of class management. I mean,
right.
I've talked to many teachers, and they all, many have said, "We feel like a first year teacher this year," and I go, "I feel like a first year board man." Everyone feels like a first year everything, because it is, it's tough. This is not. This is very. difficult, this whole situation across the board.
Well, I kind of think that you don't consider yourself an educator, but you are. Okay, you teach your children. I'm sure you teach your family members of, do it this way or do it that way, or even some of the schoolwork. One of the things that I'm pretty proud of is that I've trained a couple of people to replace me as I'm going, moving to another direction. So again, you have that capability, and that's one of the things that I kind of would like to do is also be a trainer to school board members, because there's a lot of things that we miss in a board meeting. One of the things that I kind of um, would like to change a little bit is the board comments. When they do the minutes, uh, they don't really, uh, and I don't know if it's changed, but on the discussions that are had, there's nothing documented. It's just motion was made, motion was carried.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I got them to put the recordings on their website for that reason. Well, I like to
Okay.
hear the sound of my own voice and hear what I have to say. So, no, but exactly. Same. I thought I saw the same thing. And that's not in broad. That's everywhere.
Yes, yes.
And that.
But the board comments get recorded. So I'm thinking, okay, if I want to, because I'm a follow-up person. Okay, if I'm the Latino film project, it was like, okay, we're looking at doing it, we're looking at doing it. So it was like, oh, have we done anything? Those were my comments. Have we done anything? Are we going to do anything? Because the time's running out. So again, it's a struggle of just trying to get you know
Things done.
yeah, action done.
Yeah.
Trying to get it
in a,
done
in a
because
simple way, but in a way that, right, you don't want to cut corners. You don't want to,
right.
get two steps back. You do. It's a fine balance of,
Mhm.
encouragement, but also, I said, being that thorn in the side, but also support, but also
Mhm. Yes,
holding
yes.
people
And again,
accountable.
I was being supportive. Again, knowing my philosophy is I worked at clinicas for 12 years, and the doctors and nurses and the aides were the people that worked. The same concept is with the schools, the teachers, the principals, the aides, even the staff that works the yards, and the custodians and the bus drivers. They're all part of the people that do the work that helps the children learn. So to me, it's like it's not, the administrators, of course they're important, but but the people that are out there working and doing, producing, they're the ones that deserve the kudos and the recognition. And again, we thrive off of what they do. So again, I do respect them for what they do. I don't think I could do it. But again, like I said before, being a trainer and teaching other people that the trades is being a teacher.
What I think, you kind of brought it up, and what excites me about your campaign, the candidacy for the high school board is, you know, like Abra Elementary, we there's a lot we got to improve. I'll be the first to admit, and we're working. But you being in there, those areas, and now that you're going for the high school board, you can be on the outside looking in, saying, "Well, I'm here, and I know how you can help us, help you, and vice versa."
Right,
And I
right.
think that's what you bring to the high school, and that I think is really great, because they might. I haven't talked to any of the board members, right? I'm sure they talk to some other board members, and they get their insight or get messages, but like you have that perspective already of knowing areas that you can from day one can
Mhm.
help us at the elementary level, help our students to help them prepare for high school, and then
Mhm.
help them prepare them for their life after high school.
Mhm.
It's life with a career, higher
Right.
ed. And so that's
And
what.
Gail, one of the things that I've learned also is we as a board cannot do it by ourselves. Yes, we can also reach out to each other, but we do need the community to speak up. As I'm going and I'm talking to individuals, because I'm, doing some door to door and just saying, hello, I'm Gloria Santilla, and do you have any questions? And a lot of the distance learning, some of them share, as freshmen, the counselors they actually now have to meet one-on-one via the Zoom. So it hasn't been done, not to all the students. So the parents are a little frustrated. So it's kind of good to go out and hear other members that are interested in the progress that our students are making. It's not, we don't hear them, and I don't know how it is to have a forum and say, come in and tell us your ideas, because they can help too. They know what some of the solutions are, and we can't do it alone. So
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I'm finding that out every day. So
okay.
no, as I said, we talked for 10 minutes. We're about 20.
Oh gosh, okay.
Anything
Yeah,
any final thoughts that you'd like for anyone who's going to listen to this? What would you like to share with them?
well, I'm from Brawley. I know what the community is like. I know that we all like the football. Maybe sometimes a little too much emphasis on the football, but again, it's about the students, and are they prepared to go into life with the educational foundation, with the work ethics, with just the desire and the ganas to succeed. Again, we're there for them. So again, I that's why I think my brochure, I say I offer, family values. I offer this, my experience as a professional, and again, you can use me because that's what I'm there for, to hear you out, to be your voice, but you need to tell me. And you also need to be there to back me up, of saying, this is what we need. These are the changes that we need. So again, thank you, and for the opportunity for speaking to you in a less, in a more relaxed manner.
Yeah,
And
I'm all about that. I just like people. I just get to know you, right? And so, no, thank you. I appreciate. I'm really excited.